where a lot happened yesterday in Brooklyn, across the East River to Manhattan. So to start off hour 3, our coach James Young is live right here with us for the next half an hour to break down not only the NBA draft, but of course the blockbuster deal yesterday between the Nets and the Knicks that sends Mikal Bridges from Brooklyn to New York. JY, I can see the smile on your face, even on the monitor screen here in studio. We are glad to have you here on this Wednesday. Before we get to the trade and your reaction, thank you for being here.
It's great being here. I mean, this is like Christmas. All the gifts I want to try and give people. It's draft day, and then the Knicks give me the best gift of them all. Good morning, gentlemen. What a day. What a day.
What a gift it was for you. The reunion of Villanova. Mikal Bridges, traded by Brooklyn to the New York Knicks. He will join up with his former teammates, Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, all 4 of those guys victorious in a national championship back in 2016. In return, Brooklyn gets a haul, 4 unprotected first-round picks, a 5th first-rounder as well, and some more draft assets outside of that. Let's start with the New York Knicks. Was it worth it to trade all of that for Mikal Bridges?
I think they gave up a ton, but at some point, Ben, you got to put your chips in the center of the table if you want to make a move. And if you want to make a move for a guy across town, then you probably got to pay more than everybody else is willing to pay, because it has to make sense for Brooklyn. For the Knicks, it gives them something that will be sensational if they keep OG Anunoby. Those are 2 premier 3-and-D guys that you can line up mainly against Boston to try and guard Brown and Tatum. This is the Knicks looking at the best in the East and saying, what can we do to take that next step? Now, we'll have to see what happens with OG, and I think I still think they're going to try and re-sign him. But this is a team-friendly deal in regards to Bridges, 2 years left. There is something about this culture, and I want to know, after all the stuff that Josh Hart did on social media, how is he not being charged with tampering already this morning?
Hey, it's a great story to come up here, and we'll see in the NFL handing out those tampering charges here to the Atlanta Falcons. We'll see if that's the case. But if we are looking at that Knicks roster coming up and also how Bridges fits in, what do we see next year? Because Ben and I were talking earlier, like if you're a Tibbs guy, you get to play 40-plus minutes on a night-to-night basis. With Bridges coming over, does that change the rotation? And also, who's going to be the odd man out, Coach? And I don't mean leaving the team, but who gets hurt from Bridges coming over offensively, let's just say?
Well, I think if everyone stays, let's just go pie in the sky to keep Hartenstein, obviously to keep obviously OG. Then you're probably looking at Brunson, right? Exactly. So you're going with Brunson. Bridges is your 2. OG is your 3. Randle's your 4. I think Hartenstein replaces Mitchell Robinson and starting with 5. So who does it affect most? Probably Dante DiVincenzo, who was kind of pushed into the starting lineup once they traded quickly and Barrett for OG. I think Dante is comfortable coming off the bench. I think he's willing to accept that role. His minutes won't be affected. Now, it may affect other guys like Precious Achiuwa, maybe not coming back to New York at this point. And the thing about Mikal Bridges that's probably the most attractive guys is, for a team that had a ton of injuries, the guy hasn't missed a game since high school. So he's going to be out there every game. The question you have for the Knicks, and I have for the Knicks, is this good enough shooting the ball? I know they're 3-and-D guys, but they don't have that sniper on that team. And obviously, Dante DiVincenzo, as great as he shot the second half of the year, he still showed some stretches during the postseason where he couldn't make threes. They still may not have enough shooting guys.
But it is not as easy to say pie in the sky to return all of the guys that we just listed on that graphic for the New York Knicks. OG Anunoby, Isaiah Hartenstein, both current free agents. Based on the reporting last night after the Blockbuster deal to acquire Mikal Bridges, the Knicks still remain intentional in trying to sign OG Anunoby to bring him back. It might delve into the luxury tax. Probably not going to have the money to sign Isaiah Hartenstein to keep him in New York. And then, JY, the question becomes, what do they do with Julius Randle? when the start of the 2024-25 NBA season is here next October, of those three guys, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Isaiah Hartenstein, how many play in New York?
One, and it's going to be OG. At some point, Randle's deal, Ben, you know this, is extremely attractive for teams if they want to shed salary. And to me, I could see the better lineup, and I'm not knocking Julius Randle, all right? 24, 9, and 5. And if you look at the splits, Ben, they all shot the ball better from three when he was on the floor. But you got to admit, defensively, going 3-4 with those two in regards to Bridges and Anunoby make more sense if you get a two guard. In regard to Hartenstein, I would look out for Mitchell Robinson. Do the Knicks try to move him to get some kind of relief so they can find a way to get Hartenstein back? They want him back. Mitch has already moved to Nashville. I think he thinks he's gone. It's going to be interesting. The roster isn't complete. Plus, they have picks 24 and 25, Ben. Could they attach that to someone's deal to shed salary, or did he do it to try and move up in the draft?
Yeah, they'll be tweaking that roster, no doubt about it. But if we do take a look at the conference championship for next year, the odds at the FanDuel Sportsbook, of course, it's going to be the Boston Celtics at a plus 125 price. But followed are the Bucks and the Knicks, now tied at a 5-1 price to win the East. Then the Sixers, Heat, and the Cavaliers. Looking at the New York Knicks now, are they a legitimate contender now in the Eastern Conference?
Yes, they're a legitimate contender. But there's still a pretty big gap between Boston and everyone else. Simply put, Donnie, like I said before, this trade was eyed at Boston. If you bring OG back, you have two, I would say, the top 5 3-and-D defenders in the NBA that can go guard Tatum and Brown. That's what this is about. This is about New York looking around and looking at Boston and saying, okay, if we're healthy, what can we do to get ourselves over the hump? That's the move. When you look at everyone else, as constructed, if OG comes back and Randall's still there because they haven't traded him, and it's either Hartenstein or Robinson, I firmly believe that the Knicks right now are the second best team in the East. I got to see what Milwaukee does because Doc Rivers has talked about he wants to surround better players with Giannis and Dame. Well, I want to know where they're getting these guys from and what are their attractive deals or first-round picks that they can attach to go get someone. Philadelphia is intriguing because I think they're going to go get Paul George, and that's a third scorer. But their roster is really complete. So right now, the Knicks are the second-best team. But a lot can change, guys, over the next couple of weeks.
And as of this moment, the New York Knicks are tied with Milwaukee for that second-best price at 5-1. But still, everybody about $4 behind Boston Celtics, who opened following championship number 18 last week as not only a short favorite to win the Eastern Conference crown once again, but the NBA championship once again as well. But after the acquisition in the trade last night, the Knicks have seen their price shorten, not only to win the East, plus $750, down by $2.50 to 5-1, but 16-1 to win next year's Larry O'Brien Trophy, now a 10-1 number. And JY, second best might not sound great, but I think everybody is playing for second in the Eastern Conference. There's a long summer and offseason ahead in the association, but Boston is pegged in its own tier. You're trying to be the team that could rival the Celtics if you're able to reach the Eastern Conference Finals.